side and saying, what are you looking so sad about, Jan?
I'm surprised at you. I mean, I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right, what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm get a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talk about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, during one time during my career, I went on a Bomber Month tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
Well, you've been on tour.
What's happening, my people? It's Cash Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before we get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to be a content creator. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. That's all. Miss Cass, the Mighty Rise Podcast, the legendary Thomas Hill. Salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cash Sports, the Box Historian. Today, the life and career of Julio Cesar Chavez, JCC, Julio Cesar Chavez. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everybody today? We are right back at the end of another big week of boxing history. And of course, we're going to end it up with the profile. JCC this week, Julio Cesar Chavez, said to be the greatest Mexican fighter of them all. Okay, I agree with that. Started out 87-0. A lot of that was down there in bars in Mexico. You know, Julio show up and they say, clear the dance floor, set the ring up. Then they get some guy been standing at the bar drinking for the last 2 hours, and that will be his opponent. So about 50 of those 87 were those kind of fights, but still a great fighter, Julio Cesar Chavez. The profile for today. We got some good action tomorrow too. Got a top right card with a lot of those good young fighters. Like Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan is headlining the event, going for Mayer's title. I think this will be their third fight. Mayer took the title from Ryan. Now Ryan's trying to get it back, but a lot of those top ranked youngsters on there. Emiliano Vargas on the card. Shushu Carrington back in there tomorrow night. Tiger Johnson, Joy Isley, great card. And then we got another card too, down in Mexico. Tevin Farmer and William Zepeda. Kevin better go for the knockout. He ain't getting no decision down in Mexico. So even if he wins it, he better go for the knockout. That's all I can say. But that's coming up tomorrow. Live boxing. 2 great cards. So today, for the highlights of boxing history, I was going to do something on the boxing siblings, but I couldn't get my pictures together, so that's coming Monday. The top boxing siblings, like the Charlo brothers, the Inues, Naoya and the Takuma, Daniel and Carolyn Dubois, got a brother and sister in there, so we're going to do that Monday. But today, we're going to look at the top 10 boxers of the 21st century. That's a little highlight of boxing history from 2 to 2:30. The top 10 boxers of the 21st century, okay? We're going to look at who those are. I know I came down hard on Floyd yesterday when I was trying to prove he wasn't the best ever, but you know, I give Floyd the best for the 21st century, you know, from 2000 up to now. Yeah, Floyd will get number 1 for that, but not the best ever. I think I found like 25 boxes in front of him yesterday, remember? Sorry, Floyd. But he's just not the best ever. He couldn't have beat none of the 4 kings. Duran, Hearns, Leonard, or Hagler, no, none of them. Probably couldn't have beat the man on the screen there, Julio Cesar Chavez. Look at how much trouble Madonna gave him. If you think Madonna was bringing pressure, multiply that by 10, then you got Chavez type pressure. So no, I don't think he could have dealt with Chavez. Nope. But yeah, let's look at the top 10 boxers of the 21st century. Then we're going to get on to Julio Cesar Chavez after that. But how's everybody today? It's Friday. Pulled up on another weekend. Man, these weeks going by like days, man. It was just Monday. I was asking everybody how was their weekend, and now it's Friday. Getting ready for another weekend. You know, those are some of the fighters we're going to talk about in this top 10. We got Floyd, Manny, B-Hop. They all make the top 10 for the 21st century. See what y'all think about this list here. All 3 of those are in it. That might be the top 3 right there. Let's see. Let's check it out. Top 10 boxers of the 21st century for the highlights of boxing history today. Okay. Salute to the Mighty Rise podcast and the legendary Thomas Hill in the building. So I'll wait till 2:30, let a few more people get in before we get started. But the top 10 boxers of the 21st century. Number 1, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, boxing has a long history of great champions, stars, and celebrated Hall of Famers. And since the creation of the Marquis of Queensberry rules in 1867, almost every generation has produced at least one fighter to be considered in the best ever conversation. Now, from the start of the year 2000 to today, many fighters have earned a place in the International Boxing Hall of Fame, and others are waiting for the call to come, right? Now, some have participated in memorable trilogy fights, and most of them have won championships in multiple weight classes and have topped the list of best fighters pound for pound at some point in their careers. And with such a magnificent history, putting together a list of the 10 best male fighters of the 21st century is difficult. But from Floyd Mayweather to Oscar De La Hoya to Roy Jones Jr., let's take a look at the list. Okay, number 1, Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, TBE from 2000 to 2025. But before that, I don't know. Now, 50-0, 27 knockouts for Floyd. From 1996 to 2017, that was his career, 5-division world champion, long-time pound-for-pound king. Now, Mayweather won world titles in 5 weight classes and dominated the pound-for-pound rankings from 2005 to 2015, a 10-year run. His immaculate defense with a trademark shoulder roll technique to block punches, along with sublime footwork, blurring hand speed, and pinpoint accuracy, helped Floyd beat the best of the era: Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton, and Juan Manuel Marquez, just to name a few of them, okay? Now, his decision win over Pacquiao generated more than $600 million in 2015 and remains the biggest fight in decades. Now, Mayweather's fight against former MMA champ Conor McGregor in 2017 also generated more than $600 million, second most of all time behind Mayweather-Pacquiao. Mayweather's wealth of boxing talent made him the world's highest paid athlete in 2012, 2014, 2015, and 2018. That's according to Forbes magazine. Okay. Number 2. Okay, number 2 is Manny Pacquiao. There we go. I couldn't find Manny. There we go. Manny Pacquiao comes in second. Best fighters of the 21st century. Okay. Technique. Mike Masick in the building. Technique in the building. And Jarrell Hattie in the building. We're looking at the top 10 fighters of the 21st century. You know, since I came down so hard on Floyd yesterday when I was trying to prove he wasn't the best ever, right? I found 25 that easily be in front of him all time. But 21st century, I would give it to him. But salute to Mike Masick, Technique, and Jarrell Hattie. Number 2 of the 21st century, Manny Pacquiao. There's Kensaw Love 1 at Jarrell. Oh, there's Kensaw Love 1 right there. Coming in with the color in the chat. Salute Kensaw Love 1. Good to see everybody today. We're going to get it at JCC about 2:30. But appreciate you, Kensaw Love 1, for the super chat. That's right, Technique 89-0. Enough said. We're going to talk about it, though. Okay, Manny Pacquiao's number 2 for the 21st century. Every day I get off of my listing, but I'm back on it. Man, it's right at the top, right behind Floyd Mayweather Jr. There's Manny. Manny Pacquiao Jr. is in the amateurs. I was keeping track of him, but I kind of lost track of him. He should have like 30, 40 fights now. Maybe a year or two away, 2 years away from at least 2 years away from the professional. Been in there about a couple years in the amateur level. Remember we see him sitting there next to his mother when Manny was fighting? He's a fighter himself now. Manuel Pacquiao Jr. Yep. But your Pacquiao was unknown when he first fought in the United States in 2001. But he became a record 8 division world champion and a household name, right? His all-attack buzzsaw style with punches thrown from all angles overwhelmed ring greats such as Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Arthur De La Hoya, and Miguel Cotto. Manny's fight against Floyd Mayweather took 5 years to finally happen. And while it didn't deliver the entertaining boxing fans were expecting, it generated more than $600 million in total revenue. That's number one. And Pacquiao also had a memorable feud with Juan Manuel Marquez, winning the first 3 fights. No, 2 of them, one of them was a draw, and losing the 4th by knockout. Pacquiao recovered from that defeat in 2012 to win 6 more welterweight titles, right? Title fights by 2019. Manny Pacquiao. Number 3, Bernard the Executioner / Alien Hopkins. There's B-Hop. Jarrell says Julio is underrated. Yeah, he's a bad man, Jarrell. Bernard Hopkins. 55 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws for B-Hop. 32 knockouts. Okay. Okay. Now Hopkins' otherworldly longevity saw him fittingly call himself the Alien late in a 28-year professional career. He made a record 20 world middleweight title defenses, 1996 to 2005, and stopped Arthur De La Hoya with a body shot to become undisputed champion in 2004. First 4 belt, remember? Now the Philadelphia native's ring IQ and exceptional conditioning allowed him to win world titles well into his 40s. In 2011, Hopkins outpointed John Pascal for the light heavyweight title to become the oldest boxing world champion at 46. 2 years later, Hopkins won back a light heavyweight title at 48. And then in 2014, at age 49, he defeated light heavyweight champion Babe Shumanov. So he broke George Foreman's record, then broke his own record twice. Finally, 49 is the record for the oldest champion in boxing history. Big George is still a heavyweight, right? Coming in at number 4, the best men's fighter of the 21st century, Roy Jones. Wait a minute, that ain't Roy Jones. Oh boy, I don't know what happened. I was just looking at Roy Jones. But Roy Jones, y'all know what Roy Jones looked like, right? I done got it out of order. But Roy Jones is number 4. I don't see Roy anywhere. Okay. I was just about to click on him and then all of a sudden he disappeared. That's weird. He's gone. That's crazy. Okay. Roy Jones is number 4. Roy Jones Jr. 66 wins, 10 losses, 47 knockouts. Now, Roy Jones is considered the best boxer of the 1990s. He won Boxer of the Decade. But he also had significant success in 2000 and after. Jones from Pensacola, Florida, became only the second boxer to win titles at middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight after Bob Fitzsimmons, who did it in 1897. And Roy jumped 2 weight divisions to outmaneuver and outbox John Ruiz for the WBA heavyweight title in 2003. Jones won with ease, despite Ruiz outweighing him by 33 pounds. But Jones was never the same imperious boxer again when he came back down. He returned to light heavyweight to beat Antonio Tarver by a majority decision, but then got knocked out in a rematch with Tarver. More defeats followed. He was all finished, fighting at the age of 55. Wow. Okay, yeah, Oscar is 5. I don't know what happened to Roy. Oscar De La Hoya is 5. And there's Oscar. Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya, number 5 all time since the 21st century. Now, Oscar was 39-6 with 30 knockouts. It's not too bad of a knockout rate. 30 in 39 fights. It might not be quite 80. 76.9. Still not bad, Oscar. Now, from 2000 until his career ended in 2008, Oscar lost only 5 times. And despite the setbacks, Oscar was boxing's biggest star, generating approximately $700 million in pay-per-view income until Floyd Mayweather eclipsed him. Now, De La Hoya was entertaining with a vicious left hook and fought the best boxers of his generation, did he? The Golden Boy from East Los Angeles won a world title in a 6-weight class in a decision over Felix Sturm in 2004. He really lost that fight. They was trying to set up Oscar and B-Hop, so they cheated Sturm. They was already talking about Oscar and B-Hop. Then Sturm upset the apple cart, but follow the money in boxing. And where was the money? B-Hop and Felix Sturm, or B-Hop and Oscar, right? So yeah, they robbed Sturm. Now, Oscar also became a leading promoter after establishing Golden Boy Promotions in 2002. And that resume is crazy. 1996, when he won Fighter of the Year, he fought 4 top 10 fighters in the same year. Nobody does that in the modern era. Oscar fought 4 of them. I think it was Gennaro Hernandez, Jesse James Legion, one of the Rialis brothers, I can't remember which one, and John Molina, all top 10 fighters that year. Oscar fought all of them. He could have fought 2 top 10 and 2 lower level guys and still wasn't Fighter of the Year, but not Oscar. Oscar said, I want all top 10. Canelo Alvarez is number 6. Crazy resume. Oscar. Canelo, number 6. Canelo is currently 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, with 39 knockouts. Now, he's from Guadalajara, Mexico. Still on top of his game, 34 years old, right? Top 5 pound for pound. Only Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather had beaten Canelo in a 19-year professional career, officially, but unofficially. He got a couple other losses in there, but still a bad man. Canelo has also won world titles at junior middleweight, and light heavyweight. His trilogy with Triple G will define his career. And they didn't need that 3rd fight. Now, some felt Triple G was unlucky not to win their first fight, scored a draw in 2017, before Canelo won a majority decision in the rematch in 2018 and was a more convincing winner in the 3rd in 2022. And Just Do Boxing named that 3rd fight perfectly between Canelo and Triple G, the pay-per-view sparring match. That's what it was, a pay-per-view sparring match. Number 7, top fighters of the 21st century, SOG, SOG. Andre Ward. SOG. He finished his career 32-0, 16 knockouts. Only 33 years old when he walked away. At just 33, Ward retired with an unblemished record after unifying world titles at super middleweight and light heavyweight. From Oakland, California, he won a gold medal at the 2004 Olympics, and as a professional, unified 2 super middleweight titles. He won 3 light heavyweight titles and retired in 2017 as ESPN's #1 pound-for-pound fighter. His best wins came over Carl Froch in the Super 6, remember that one, 2011, by decision, and an 8th round stoppage of Sergey Golovko in the second fight, 2017. After he controversially won the first fight against Kovalev. Did I say Sergey Golovko? Sergey Kovalev, right? And Ward was an intelligent fighter and an accomplished technician with an excellent jab, which enabled him to outsmart heavy punches, such as Carl Froch and Kovalev. Okay? Well, I guess a couple more now. Coming in at number 8, Juan Manuel Marquez. Juan Manuel is number 8. Here's Juan Manuel. 56 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, 40 knockouts. Now, Marquez delivered one of the most memorable and stunning knockouts in recent years when he sent the great Manny Pacquiao to the canvas in the 6th round of their 2012, the 4th fight. Manny should have stopped at the trilogy at 3. The pair fought 4 times. After a draw, Pacquiao won 2 fights before Marquez's right hand brought a shocking finish to their last encounter. Manny tried that double jab feint, and Marquez ducked under that second one. It came over the top with that overhand right, blop blop. And Manny was out like a light. Now Marquez had been in trouble in round 5 of that fight, but he displayed the toughness that defined his career to rebound and finish Pacquiao in the next round. Dinamita Marquez from Mexico City won titles in 4 weight classes: featherweight, junior lightweight, and junior welterweight, and also beat the likes of Marco Antonio Barrera, Juan Diaz, and Joe Casamayor. Some big names from that period back there. Late 2000s, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around in there. Number 9, Joe Calzaghe. Couple more, then we're going to get to, let's see, this JCC. No, I knew. I'm just messing with y'all. Joe Calzaghe, 46-0, 32 knockouts, never beaten as a professional. Now, Calzaghe retired in 2009, 46-0, right? Mostly spent at super middleweight. And the knock on him was he would never come to the United States and fight. Always fought over there in Europe, Yeah. He's boxing's 3rd longest reigning world champion, 10 years and 11 months. Calzaghe from Wales, United Kingdom, complained about being avoided before y'all appointed Jeff Lacey and Mikhail Kessler in title unification fights. You wasn't being avoided. Nobody wanted to come over there to your home and fight you. You wouldn't leave your home country, so you was the one avoiding people. If you would have came to the United States somewhere, you would have got more big fights earlier in his career. He wasn't being avoided. He only wanted to fight over there in the United Kingdom, and people was like, no, I'm not coming over there. You know how they do over there in the United Kingdom on that scoring, man. You can't blame people. So no, Joe wasn't he complained about being avoided, but no. That was because he always wanted to fight in the United Kingdom. He didn't come out until he fought Roy and B-Hop. Those were his first fights ever fighting out of there, man. I think he might have fought Kessler in Germany. But those were his first fights in the United States at the end of his career. Now, Calzaghe enjoyed a glorious finale to his career, including a unanimous decision verdict over the previously undefeated Kessler to successfully defend his WBO super middleweight title for a record 21st time. claiming Kessler's WBA and WBC belts in the process. After that fight, Kozaki's hand speed was too much for Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones in decision wins at light heavyweight, fighting in the United States for the first time. Yeah. And number 10, Vitaly Klitschko. Final one. Next stop, JCC. Yeah, Vitaly, 45-2, 41 knockouts. Outstanding knockout rate, right? .1%. And those two losses were both stopped on injuries, right? And at the time of both stoppages, he was ahead. Both times he lost to Lennox Lewis. He was dominating Lennox, and then he got cut, and they had to stop it. And Lennox wouldn't give him a rematch. Lennox ducked the rematch because Lennox knew what happened in that fight. He only beat Vitaly because Vitaly got cut, and then I think he hurt his arm against somebody else, and they had to stop it. But arguably could have been undefeated if it wasn't for those injuries in those fights. Yeah. Now he century started inauspiciously for Klitschko. He quit on his stool due to a shoulder injury in a fight against Chris Bird in 2000, right? That was Chris Bird. Then in 2003, his face was cut to shreds after he stepped in on late notice to challenge the world champion, Lennox Lewis. Dr. Iron's Fist recovered from the Lewis loss to win the WBC heavyweight title, but announced his retirement in 2005 due to injury. 3 years later, he resumed his reign, and along with brother Vladimir, the WBA, IBF, and WBO champion, dominated the heavyweight division until Vitaly's ninth and final title defense in 2012 at the age of 40. Vitaly was considered heavier-handed and had a less cautious style than Vladimir, right? Finished 45-2. 15-2 in world title fights. Okay, there you have it, the top 10 fighters of the 21st century. You're 15-2 in title fights. And those two that he lost due to cuts in his arm, where he was winning at the time of both stoppages. Yeah. And Lennox Lewis, instead of giving Vladimir the rematch, guess what he did? He retired. Yep, Lennox retired. Julio Cesar Chavez, the life and career of JCC. Is that him? Nah. That's him. I don't know who that was. It wasn't Julio Cesar Chavez, that's for sure. Okay, how's everybody this Friday afternoon? We got 2 good cards tomorrow. Top rank, Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan, and then Emilio Arnold Vargas on there. Shushu back in action, Tiger Johnson, Troy Isley. That's going to be a great card. And then we also got the other one, the Zone, Zepeda and Farmer rematch. Everybody say Farmer got robbed the first time. Wait till you see what happened down there in Mexico tomorrow night. You think he got robbed the first time? Wait till you see what happened tomorrow down there in Mexico. He better get a knockout, which I don't think he will get. So, yeah. Okay, Julio Cesar Chavez Gonzalez, right? Also known as Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., former Mexican professional boxer. He competed from 1980 to 2005, a 25-year career. Okay? Now, a multiple-time world champion in 3 weight divisions, Chavez was listed by the Ring magazine as the world's best boxer pound for pound from 1990 to 1993. Now, during his career, he held the WBC super featherweight title from 1984 to 1987, the WBA and WBO lightweight titles. between 1987 and 1989. And he had the WBC junior welterweight title twice between 1989 and 1996, and the IBF junior welterweight title from 1990 to 1991. And he also held the Ring Magazine and linear lightweight titles from 1988 to 1989, and the linear junior welterweight title twice between 1990 and 1996. Now, Chavez was named Fighter of the Year for 1987 and 1990 by the Boxing Writers Association of America and the Ring, respectively. Yeah, he got it 1990 for the Ring. That's the big one. 1996 for the Ring. Wait a minute now. 1990 for the Ring. That's the big one, because I know Arthur got it in 1996. But that's the big one, the Ring Magazine, right? Now, JCC, okay, he fought in 4 weight divisions. He fought at super featherweight, 130, lightweight, 135, junior welterweight, 140, and welterweight, 147, okay? He was 5'7.5" tall, had a 68-inch reach, fought in the orthodox stand. He had a total of 115 fights during his professional career. He won 107, lost 6, 2 draws, 86 fights by knockout. 86 by knockout. And it shouldn't be too bad because they had 107 fights. The knockout rate should not be too bad. Let's see what it is. 80.3. You figure a man with 107 victories still got an 80% knockout rate. That is incredible. Okay? Yeah. JCC. Okay. Now, Chavez holds records for the most total successful defense of the world titles, 27, shared with Omar Narvaez, most title fight victories and fighters beaten for the title, both at 31, and most title fights, 37. He has the second most title defenses won by knockout, 21, behind Joe Louis with 23. His fight record was 89 wins, no losses, and 1 draw before his first professional loss to Frankie Randall in 1994, like Technique was saying, before which he had an 87-fight win streak until his draw with Pernell Whitaker in 1993. Now, Chavez's 1993 win over Greg Hargan at the Estadio Azteca set the record for the largest attendance for an outdoor boxing match, 136,274 people. Wow. He is ranked as the 17th best boxer of all time, pound for pound by BoxRec. Number 24 on ESPN's list of 50 greatest boxers of all time, and 18th on the Ring's 80 best fighters of the last 80 years. In 2010, he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame on his first ballot, winning in 2011. Of course, first ballot, no doubt. He is the father of Omar Chavez and former WBC middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and one of 4 father and sons or daughters to be champion. We had Floyd and Tracy Patterson, Muhammad Ali and Layla Ali, Leon and Corey Spinks, and Julio Chavez Sr. and Jr. That's the only 4 I can think of. Okay. Well, his father and child both champions at the professional level. Yeah. Let's look at his early life. Early life of JCC. I wet my whistle. Oh, that's cool and good. Okay. Early life for JCC. Oh my goodness. Went down too far. There we go. Julio Cesar Chavez was born on July 12, 1962, in Sonora, Mexico. His father, Rodolfo Chavez, worked for the railroad. And Julio grew up in an abandoned railroad car with his 5 sisters and 4 brothers. Chavez came from a poor family and became a boxer for money, he stated. He said, "I saw my mom working, ironing and washing people's clothes, and I promised her I would give her a house someday, and she would never have that job again." He began boxing as an amateur at the age of 16, and he then moved to Tijuana to pursue a professional career. Okay, so let's look at that professional career. Then he moved to Tijuana to pursue. Okay. Now, let's see if anybody came in before we get started on his professional career. Oh, the lights are looking great today. Wow. Thank y'all. Man. Wow. That's been looked in a long time. Man. Appreciate you. Now, if half of them people would hit the like, I'd be in good shape. Now, professional career for Julio Cesar Chavez. Chavez made his professional debut at age 17. In his 12th fight on March 4th, 1980, he faced Miguel Ruiz in Culiacan, Sinaloa. At the end of the first round, Chavez landed a blow that knocked Ruiz out. Delivered as the bell sounded, the blow was called a disqualification in the ring, and Ruiz was declared the winner. But the next day, his manager, Ramon Felix, consulted with the Mexican Boxing Commission, and after further review, the result was overturned. Chavez's manager went to the Mexican Boxing Commission, and the result was overturned, and Chavez was declared the winner. Okay. But wow, that would have been a loss way back there. But they overturned it because they said the blow was at the bell. You can hit at the bell, right? Just not after. Okay, let's look at his career at super featherweight. Okay, super featherweight. Now, he won his first championship, the vacant WBC super featherweight title, on September 13th, 1984, by knocking out fellow Mexican Mario Azabag Martinez at the Grand Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California. Now, Martinez had been the betting favorite in the fight, due partly to his previous victory over former WBC world champion Rolando Navarrete in a non-title fight. On April 19th, 1985, Chavez defended his title against number 1 ranked contender Ruben Castillo by knocking him out in the 6th round. On July 7th, 1985, Chavez defeated former and future champion Roger Mayweather. Yeah, I got the thing out of order, man. But there's him and Roger. I just found Roy Jones way up here. But yeah, so I'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah. On July 7th, 1985, he defeated former and future champion Roger Mayweather by a 2nd round knockout. There's him and Roger. On August 3rd, 1986, Chavez won a 12-round majority decision over former WBA and future IBF super featherweight champion Rocky Lockridge in Monte Carlo. In his next fight, he defeated former champion Juan Laporte by a 12-round unanimous decision. So he's fighting big names every fight. On March 18, 1987, he defeated number 1 ranked challenger Francisco Thomas de Cruz by a 3rd-round knockout. He successfully defended his WBC super featherweight title a total of 9 times. And then he moved to lightweight, moved to lightweight, okay? That's him and Edwin Rosario. On November 21st, 1987, Chavez moved up to the lightweight division and faced WBA lightweight champion Edwin Rosario. Great Puerto Rican fighter there. That was a classic Puerto Rico versus Mexico, Chavez and Rosario. Crush the Legend in the building. What's up, Crush? Crush the Legend. 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. The coffee and the donut. Salute, Crush. JCC today. Yeah, this was a classic Mexico versus Puerto Rico, though. Chavez and Rosario. I saw that, too. And, yeah, it was just a lot of animosity surrounding that one, too. On November 21st, 1987, Chavez moved up to the lightweight division and faced WBA lightweight champion Edwin Rosario. Now, prior to the fight, there were concerns about how Chavez would handle the move up in weight. Chavez commented, "Everything I've accomplished as champion and the 9 title defenses would be thrown away with a loss to Rosario." Told you there was a lot of animosity leading up to that fight. I remember that. The two fighters nearly exchanged blows during a press conference after Rosario threatened to send Chavez back to Mexico in a coffin. Now, Chavez would ultimately give a career-defining performance as he defeated Rosario by an 11th round TKO to win the title. HBO punch stats showed Rosario landing 263 of 731 punches thrown in the fight, 36%, while Chavez had 450 of 743, 61%. That's incredible, man. 61%. That's unheard of. 61% punches landed. Wow. And everybody thought 50 was good. 61%. After the fight, Sports Illustrated ran the headline, "Time to Hail Caesar." WBA lightweight champion Cesar Chavez of Mexico may be the world's best fighter. That's what Sports Illustrated had on their cover that week after he beat Rosario. Yeah, there was a lot of animosity leading up to that one, though, yeah. Okay, April 16th, 1988, Chavez defeated number 1 ranked contender Rodolfo Aguilar, who was 20-0 coming into the fight, by a 6-round TKO. On June 4th, 1988, he won against former 2-time champion Rafael Bazooka Limon by scoring a 7th round TKO. He was fighting all big names. Later that year, he unified the WBA and WBC belts by a technical decision win over champion Jose Luis Ramirez, another big name from that period. An accidental headbutt opened a cut on Ramirez's forehead, and the doctor halted the fight, sending the decision to the judges' scorecards. At that point in the fight, now Chavez was ahead on all scorecards, so he was declared the winner. He was also awarded the ring lightweight title after the win. Okay, now Chavez vacated his WBA and WBC lightweight titles, in order to move up to the super lightweight division. So super featherweight or lightweight, he didn't lose in the ring. He vacated both times to move up. Okay, junior welterweight. Next fight was a rematch with Roger Mayweather. He won the WBC. Roger Mayweather was the junior welterweight champion at the time. And Chavez won the WBC junior welterweight title by defeating Roger for a 2nd time. Now, Mayweather did not come out of his corner for the 10th round, giving Chavez the TKO win. In 1989, Chavez defeated future champion Sammy Fuentes by 10th round TKO. In his next fight, he had Alberto Cortez, who was 44-0 coming in. His first career loss by a third round knockout. Now we get to the Meldrick Taylor situation. Al Booger ain't even in here either. Nope. Now we get to Meldrick Taylor's situation. You know, Richard Steele stopped the fight with 2 seconds left. Yeah. There's him and Meldrick right there, I think. Yeah, that's him and Meldrick Taylor. Okay. Chavez versus Taylor. On March 17th, 1990, Chavez faced Meldrick Taylor, the undefeated IBF junior welterweight champion, in a title unification fight. Because remember, Chavez had the WBC. He had won that from Roger Mayweather, right? Now, while Taylor carried the fight to Chavez through round 8, Chavez rallied in the last 4 rounds. With about 30 seconds left in the 12th and final round, Chavez landed a hard straight right on the chin of Taylor, which hurt him badly. He had Taylor in serious trouble at the end of the 12th. Serious trouble. Shortly thereafter, he knocked Taylor down, right? Taylor was a gold medalist too, by the way. Knocked Taylor down shortly after that. It was like less than 15 seconds when he knocked him down. Now, although Taylor rose at the referee's count of 6, he failed. Richard Steele was the referee. Now, Taylor rose at the count of 6, but he failed to respond coherently to Richard Steele questions after being issued a mandatory 8 count. And he was holding on to the ropes, right? So Richard Steele felt that the ropes was holding him up, and he didn't respond coherently. So Richard Steele stopped the fight with only 2 seconds remaining. Now, many boxing fans and members of the media were outraged that Steele would stop a fight that Taylor was winning with only 2 seconds left, while others like Al Booger felt that Steele was justified in stopping the fight, given Taylor's condition and the fact he was unable to respond to Steele before the conclusion of the fight. But, you know, I'm saying 2 seconds. I mean, if Chavez in the neutral corner, 2 seconds might be up before he even get over there where Taylor's at. So how much more damage can he do? He should have let that continue, because it's only going to be like half a second by the time they even get back to fighting. So if any damage done is already done, so he shouldn't have stopped the fight at that point. I think Richard Steele was paid off myself, you know. Yeah, he wasn't, Crush, you are 100% correct about that. He was never the same after that. Because remember, Chavez stopped him in the rematch. He fought a beautiful fight the first time, but the second fight, he was nowhere near like. Great point, Crush. He was nowhere near the same after that. Yeah. After that fight. And man, just think of his name and legacy he would have had if he would have won that fight, man. That would have been Chavez's first loss. That would have been a career-defining win for Taylor. Richard Steele robbed him of legacy and everything, man. If he'd have won that fight, man, we would still be talking about Meldrick Taylor. But, you know, one referee's decision can change a whole career, you know. But hey, he was in bad trouble. But it was only 2 seconds left too, man. And Chavez was way over on the other side of the ring. So 2 seconds, he's barely going to get another punch in on him. So I don't see the reasoning. I don't see the reasoning for stopping. 15, 20 seconds, yes, serious damage could be done. But 2 seconds, I don't know. But let's get back to it. But good point, Quest. He was never the same after that. I agree 100% with that. Yep. Because the second fight wasn't even similar. He just got stopped like this. We're going to cover that in the second fight. So, Richard Steele stopped it with 2 seconds left. I was running my mouth and I lost my place now. Okay, here we go. while others like Al Booger felt that Steele was justified in stopping the fight, given Taylor's condition and the fact that he was unable to respond to Steele before the conclusion of the fight. Now, Steele defended his decision by saying that his concern is protecting a fighter regardless of how much time is left in the round or the fight. As Steele put it, I stopped it because Meldrick had taken a lot of good shots, a lot of hard shots, and it was time for it to stop. Well, you should have stopped it before then. Steele said, you know, I'm not the timekeeper. I don't care about the time. When I see a man that has had enough, I'm stopping the fight. And the Ring magazine named that fight Fight of the Year for 1990, and later, the fight of the entire decade for the 90s. Yep. While many hoped for an immediate rematch, Taylor opted to move up in weight in his next fight, and the fighters did not meet again until 1994, 4 years later, when Chavez dominated the next fight and knocked out Taylor in the 8th round. Yeah, he was never the same, like Crush said after that. The second fight was nothing like the first fight. After unifying the titles, that was a unification. After unifying the titles, Chavez engaged in a busy series of title defenses and non-title fights. On December the 8th, 1990, he defeated the WBC mandatory challenger, Kayang Duke On. Now, the man's name ain't nothing like that, but South Korean guy. He defeated him by third round knockout. On March 18th, 1991, he defeated WBC number 5 ranked fighter John Duplessis by 4th round TKO. On September 14th, 1991, Chavez won a 12-round unanimous decision over former champion Lonnie Smith. On April 10th, 1992, he scored a TKO victory over number 1 ranked contender Angel Hernandez, who was 37-0 coming into that fight. 5th round TKO. Later that year, he defeated Frankie Randall by 4th round TKO. Now, Frankie was the one that gave him his first loss. No, that was Frankie Mitchell, because I haven't talked about Frankie giving his loss yet. That was Frankie Mitchell. We haven't even got to Frankie Randall yet. Frankie Mitchell, yeah. Because you can see how this man got 107 fights. He was fighting like every other month, man. He had a whole total of 100. No, he won 107. He had 115 fights because he lost 8. Yeah. But you can see how he was fighting every other month. But then he took on the Macho Man, Hector Camacho. Hector Macho Camacho. Okay. Chavez versus Camacho was his next fight. BN Boxing News. What's up, BN Boxing News? Oh, I appreciate it, BN Boxing News. I got that from somewhere on the YouTube. I just make sure ain't nobody's name or no kind of sites or nothing listed on it. I put it on up there. You know, put Cast Sports on it. But appreciate you being Boxing News in the building. Salute. Yeah, we are. Chavez is getting ready to fight Hector Macho Camacho. Okay, Chavez versus Camacho. This was on September 12th, 1992. Chavez faced WBO junior welterweight champion Hector Camacho. This is another unification. Camacho was 41-1 at the time. This was a highly anticipated fight, too. Another Mexico versus Puerto Rico, right? Chavez dominated Camacho en route to a unanimous decision win. The final scores were wide. 117-111, 119-110, and one judge had a shutout, 120-107, right? Didn't give Camacho near round. All for Chavez. Now, after the fight on his arrival to Mexico, that was a big win over Puerto Rico then. And on his arrival back home in Mexico, the president of the country sent a special car reserved for the Pope to pick Chavez up and bring him to the president's house. Wow. He won a big fight against Puerto Rico. President sent the car to the airport to get him. Okay, Chavez versus Hogan. Okay. Okay, there's him and Greg Hogan. I think Chavez versus Hogan. Okay. His 1993 fight with Greg Hogan featured trash talk from Hogan, who derided Chavez's 82 fight unbeaten streak as consisting mostly of Tijuana taxi drivers that my mother could have knocked out. Now, see, another fighter can say that, but us as fans ain't at the business calling them taxi drivers. But this is another fighter. And he told Chavez, those 82 fights, that 82 fight unbeaten streak is full of Tijuana taxi drivers that my mother could beat, okay, and knock out. And Hogan insisted that there are 130,000 Mexicans who can afford tickets to see the fight. Wow. Chavez responded by, Hogan was very disrespectful. Chavez responded by saying, I really hate him bad. When he looks at me, I want to vomit. I am going to give him the worst beating of his life. I am going to make him swallow the words that came out of his dirty mouth. Ultimately, 136,000 showed up to see a world record for outdoor fight attendance, as it was Chavez drop Hogan quickly and then back off with the apparent intention of punishing him for his free fight remarks. So he knocked him down, let him get up and recuperate, and backed off, because he wanted to punish this guy. However, the referee had seen enough by the fifth round and stopped the fight for a TKO victory for Chavez, because Chavez was beating on him, carrying him, so he could beat him up, right? So after the fight, Chavez commented to Hogan, now you know I don't fight with taxi drivers, right? And a bloody Hogan responded, they must have been tough taxi drivers. After the fight, Chavez said, now you know I don't fight taxi drivers. And Hogan said, yeah, they was tough taxi drivers. Later that year, Chavez scored a 6-round TKO victory over #1 ranked contender, Terrence Ali. All right, now here we come to his first career loss. Yeah, that was him and Hogan right there. Frankie Randall. Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, well. That's Frankie Randall right there. I don't know how I got out. No. I'm out of order, but don't worry about it. I think that's him and Frank. I thought that was hard. That's him and Frankie Randall. But anyway, we're coming up to his first loss, okay? Okay, draw with Whitaker in first loss. Oh, no, Whitaker is before Randall. I'm okay. I was out of order because that's Hogan right there. Draw with Whitaker in his first loss. That's him and Sweet Pea. Now, after a division record 18 consecutive defenses of his junior welterweight title, Chavez at 87-0 moved up one more weight to welterweight to challenge Pernell Whitaker for the WBC welterweight title in September 1993. Now, since the late 1980s, Chavez has stated several times that he wanted to fight Whitaker. Now, the Whitaker team, among them Lou Duva, his trainer, told Ring Magazine that they did not want to fight against Chavez in those days. The result of the fight was a controversial majority draw, allowing Chavez to remain undefeated, with Whitaker retaining his title. Various members of the American media, including the Ring and Sports Illustrated, were critical of the decision. Sports Illustrated put Pernell Whitaker on the cover of its next magazine with a one-word title, Robbed. Here it is. For one word title, robbed. Okay. Chavez stated after the fight. Bear with me. Okay. Chavez stated after the fight, I felt I was forcing the fight. He just kept holding me too much. He was throwing too many low blows too. And there was no rematch. Chavez knew. He didn't want no rematch. You know, fighters know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that was supposed to be Chavez or the one where it was, you talking about this one, Julio? I don't know what was going on in that picture. That's Whitaker. I know which one you're talking about, but I can't find it. You talking about that one? That's him and Camacho. I don't know what was going on. What was up with that? Looked like he was trying to get over there to Camacho and pissed him off or something. Yeah, they had the one word thing robbed on there on the Sports Illustrated. But there was no rematch. And then Frankie Randall, he came to his first loss. That's him and Randall. Okay. Yeah, that was his first blemish on his record. It was a draw. Now, Chavez continued defending his junior welterweight title. He didn't get the welterweight because it was a draw, so Whitaker retained it. And on December 18th, he went back down to junior welterweight. December 18th, 1993, he defeated British Commonwealth junior welterweight champion Andy Holligan. Andy was 21-0 coming into that fight by fifth round TKO. Now, Chavez faced Frankie Randall next on January 29th, 1994 in a fight that most expected him to win easily. Instead, Randall knocked him down for the first time in his career and went on to win a split decision, and Chavez lost the title to Randall. And it wasn't even, it was unanimous. They still tried to give it to Chavez, still tried to keep that O. But Randall just beat him so dominantly they couldn't cheat him. It should have been unanimous, but they even still called it a split decision. They tried, but they couldn't get away with it that time. Remember, Whitaker, they called it a draw, but Randall, they just couldn't do it. It should have been unanimous. He shouldn't even one-on-one judge's card, but he did. But he still got the loss, okay? He lost his title to Randall. Now, Chavez blamed his loss on referee Richard Steele. Ain't that something? He gonna blame it on Richard Steele, the man that helped him stop the fight with 2 seconds left a couple of fights ago. But he blamed his loss on Richard Steele, who deducted 2 points from Chavez for low blows, which affected the difference on the scorecards. It shouldn't even have been that close, no way. The WBC ordered an immediate rematch. It was Mauricio's father then, Jose Suleiman. Chavez lost his title. Of course, they're going to order an immediate rematch. WBC, that's the Mexican title, right? I mean, the Mexican organization, right? No disrespect meant, but it's the Mexican organization. Chavez loses his title. Immediate rematch ordered. Didn't they order an immediate rematch on that draw with Whitaker, did they? But let's move on. They ordered an immediate rematch, and Chavez regained the title on a split technical decision in May 1994. I think he lost that one too. Now, the fight was fiercely contested when they collided heads, opening a huge cut over Chavez's eyebrow in the 7th round. Yeah, Chavez was fighting dirty in that one. He knew he couldn't beat Randall, so he fought dirty. After the head cut, during round 8, the referee called for the doctor, who then stopped the fight. Under WBC rules, Randall lost 1 point, giving Chavez the technical victory. They must have made that rule up after the doctor stopped it. Now, the two faced one another in a rubber match 10 years later, which Chavez won. Now, Chavez then faced Meldrick Taylor in a rematch 4 years after their historic first fight. Chavez defeated him in the 8th round by a knockout that sent Taylor from one side of the ring to the other, right? In his next fight, yeah, like Crush said, he wasn't the same Taylor by then. In his next fight, Chavez defeated 3-time champion Tony Lopez. In 1996, he defeated former and future junior welterweight champion Giovanni Parisi. Later that year, he defended his title against a #1 ranked challenger, David Camus. Despite suffering a cut in the opening round, prior to the fight, despite suffering a cut in the opening round, right? But prior to that fight, Chavez indicated that he was considering retirement. Okay. I've had a lot of problems with my arms, with my knees. I really don't want to extend myself much longer. Okay. And Chavez said, after so many years of working out, it all builds up. I'm not giving what I used to be able to give. I will fight De La Hoya for a lot of money and then retire. And next was him and Oscar. Yep, next was him and Oscar. Him and Oscar De La Hoya. Happened to the chat. Excuse me for a minute. There we go. Yeah. Couldn't see the chat. Chavez versus Oscar De La Hoya. On June 7th, 1996, Chavez faced Oscar De La Hoya. Now, a large gash appeared over the left eye of Chavez within the first minute of the first round, leading many to assume, what Chavez later confirmed, that the cut occurred earlier in training and was reopened in the fight. Heavy blood flow prompted the doctor to stop the fight in the 4th round. Now, until the eventual rematch in 1998, Chavez would always state that De La Hoya had not defeated him, but that a gash that he had suffered in training was the real cause of the stoppage of the fight. Well, you should have put the fight off then. In his next fight after Oscar, Chavez defeated former champion Joey Gamage in his 1. back. Somebody give me a thumbs up if I'm back. I knew something was getting ready to happen. The thing wouldn't move. Yeah, we're back. Okay. Where were we? I think he was getting ready to fight Joey Gonzalez. Yeah, he just fought Oscar, right? Yeah, because Oscar's still up there. Yeah, Joey Gonzalez. Let's see, anybody come in? Oh, Ace. What's up, Ace? Ace in the building. Salute. Yeah, we just had some technical difficulties. Good to see you, Ace. We're talking about Julio Cesar Chavez today. You met Ace up at the meet and greet. Yep. Okay, because Chavez versus Gonzalez. Okay. Now, an elbow injury to Chavez forced postponement of his fight with Gonzalez. Now, the fight was scheduled for October 25th, 1997. Now, a year after De La Hoya Oscar moved up to welterweight in 1997, Chavez fought Miguel Angel Gonzalez for the vacant WBC light welterweight title. That fight ended in a draw, and a rematch with De La Hoya for the WBC welterweight belt in September 1998. De La Hoya won by 8th round TKO. Now, about De La Hoya, Chavez stated years later, "I have nothing against him, even though he beat me twice. I have no resentment towards him. De La Hoya was younger than me during our fights, and I was on my way out of boxing. If Oscar didn't fight me, he would not have been anything in boxing." Chavez spoke about his sparring sessions with De La Hoya, say 6 years before their first fight, and stated, "I sparred with him and dropped him in the second round with a right hand. De La Hoya was a kid that day, and after training, he stayed and we went out for dinner. I gave him $300 to $400 from my pocket to help him out." Okay. And then retirement and farewell fights. Retirement and farewell fights for JCC. Chavez won his first 2 fights in 1999 before losing to then 32-year-old Willie Wise by 10-round unanimous decision. Okay? It is Chavez on the mat. Time to get out, JCC. That's him and Tim Tszyu there. In 2000, at the age of 38, Chavez challenged junior welterweight champion, I'm not Tim Tszyu, Kostya Tszyu, Tim's father, Kostya Tszyu. Chavez lost the fight by 6th round TKO. There he is on his back right there. Kostya looking at him. Could be Tim, but it's Kostya. Now, Chavez lost the fight by a 6th round TKO. After a 2001 win over Terry Thomas in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, Chavez retired. But on November 24th, 2003, he came out of retirement to avenge his earlier loss to Willie Wise, knocking Wise out in 2 rounds in Tijuana, Mexico. In April 2004, Chavez went back into the ring for what he again claimed would be his last appearance. In that fight, nicknamed Adios, Mexico, Gracias, he beat his former conqueror, Frankie Randall. This was the 3rd fight by a 10-round decision. On May 28, 2005, Chavez once again stepped into a boxing ring, outpointing Yvonne Robinson in 10 rounds at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. This fight was televised by Showtime Championship Boxing. On September 17, 2005, at the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix, Arizona, Chavez suffered a TKO loss to until then little-known Grover Wiley in the 115th and final fight of his career, retiring in his corner before the start of the 5th round after injuring his right hand. After the fight, Chavez told his promoter, the Bob Father, that this time he was definitely retiring from boxing. Yep. Bob Father, come on back. You got one more in you. He said, no, that's it this time. Yep. His defeat was avenged 2 years later by his son, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who knocked Wally out in the 3rd round of their fight. Yep. He had some exhibition fights after he retired, but he did stay out of the ring after that. Had a few exhibitions, though. Now, Chavez has fought multiple exhibition fights for charitable causes. Okay? On January 1st, 1985, Chavez scored a 3rd round technical knockout over Manny Hernandez in an exhibition fight staged in Mexico City, Mexico, to garner money for the victims of a 1984 gas explosion in Mexico. Late in 2014, Julio Cesar Chavez returned to the ring for an exhibition with Vicente Sacristano in a fight aimed at collecting toys for poor children, right? He and former rival Mario Martinez, against whom he earned his first world championship in 1984, faced each other again on July 3rd, 2015, in an event to benefit Chavez's 2 drug rehabilitation clinics. Okay, let's look at his personal life. That's him and his son, right? Is that Junior? Yeah, Junior was bigger than him, right? Personal life for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Senior. Now, during the late part of his career, Chavez struggled with drug addiction and alcohol abuse. He stated that he started drinking the night after his fight against Edwin Rosario. He later developed a cocaine habit. Chavez got into rehab several times until he recovered. Eventually recovered. Yeah. Chavez is the father of Omar Chavez and former WBC middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He works as an analyst for ESPN and TV Azteca and spends his time between Mexico and the United States, where he owns businesses and properties. He also has a daughter, Nicole Chavez, who is a participant on the Telemundo television reality show, La Casa de los Famosos. La Casa de los Famosos. His daughter. Okay? Chavez's brother, Rafael Chavez Gonzalez, was murdered on Sunday, June 25th, 2017, during a robbery at one of Rafael's businesses. Wow. Let's just review his career real quick, okay? Chavez won 6 world titles in 3 weight divisions. The WBC Super Featherweight in 1984, WBA Lightweight 1987, WBC Lightweight 1988, WBC Junior Welterweight 1989, IBF Junior Welterweight 1990, and the WBC Junior Welterweight 1994 for the second time. He was also awarded the Ring Lightweight Championship in 1988. World champions whom Chavez defeated include Jose Luis Ramirez, Rafael Bazooka Limon, Rocky Lockridge, Meldrick Taylor, Roger Mayweather, Lonnie Smith, Sammy Fuentes, Hector Macho Camacho, Juan Laporte, Edwin Rosario, Greg Hargan, Tony Lopez, Giovanni Parisi, Joey Gamache, and Frankie Randall. who had taken the WBC junior welterweight belt from Chavez just 4 months earlier. Chavez also lost to 3 champions, Frankie Randall, Oscar De La Hoya, and Kasia Tszyu. He was held to a draw by 2 others, Pernell Whitaker and Miguel Angel Gonzalez. Chavez retired in his 25th year as a professional boxer with a record of 107 wins, 6 losses, and 2 draws, with 86 knockouts, and is considered one of the greatest fighters of all time. Okay? He holds records for most successful consecutive defenses of world titles, 27, most title fights, 37, most title fight victories, 31. And he is right behind Joe Louis with 23 for most title defenses by knockout. Joe Louis has 23 title defenses by knockout. JCC has 21 title defenses by knockout. Okay, right behind the Brown Bomber. His record was 89 wins, no losses, 1 draw, going into his first loss to Frankie Randall. And he had an 87 fight win streak until his draw with Pernell Whitaker. He was ranked number 50 on Ring Magazine's list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. An infighter or swarmer or pressure fighter, Julio Cesar Chavez was renowned, especially for his devastating left hook and his extremely strong chin. Yep, known for that left hook, that body punching, and that chin. Yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez. Mike Tyson stated that Chavez is one of the greatest fighters of his generation and top 5 of all time. From his point of view, trainer Angelo Dundee said that Chavez had one of the strongest chins in boxing history. In 2002, the Ring Magazine ranked Chavez as the 18th greatest fighter of the last 80 years. On December 7th, 2010, his induction to the International Boxing Hall of Fame was announced. He went in 2011. Okay? And there you have it. The life and career of JCC, Julio Cesar Chavez. Yeah, Mike Grimm. What's up, Mike? I didn't even know you was in here. Salute, Mike Grimm. Yeah, he did lose to Whitaker. Yeah. Everybody know that was a robbery. Yeah, that was a big robbery there. But they was, working on that oath. And then when he did finally give him the loss to Frankie Randall, they tried to give it to him. One judge gave it to him. It should have been unanimous. When he really did get his first loss, they even tried to give him that one. Yeah, but yes, Sweet Pea beat him. That was a robbery. We salute Mike Rim. And we was going to talk about Bivol and Beterbiev yesterday, but let's talk about them today, right? It's Bivol and Beterbiev remains a Russian classic in need of translation and a third act. In need of a third act, I think. I mean, why stop at 1-1? So 50 years from now, people will be saying, I wonder who would have won that trilogy. Just go ahead and have it. What if Ali Frazier would have stopped at 1-1? Right? Right now, we'd be talking, who would have won that third fight between Ali and Frazier? No, don't stop at 1-1. Benavidez will beat it. Have the trilogy, man. That would be crazy. Look at Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. They had 1-1. Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron stopped at 1-1. Come on, man. Have that trilogy. Benavidez ain't going nowhere. You know? You can always fight him. He's only 27 years old. But Beterbiev is 40. gonna fight Benavidez to come back, Beterbiev might be gone. And then they say after the fight, right after, he didn't seem excited about no trilogy. The man that just lost. How is he supposed to be excited about anything? He just lost. Right? It might not have been he wasn't excited about no trilogy. He wasn't excited about that loss he had just took. That's why he wasn't excited. But he wants the trilogy. Them guys are competitors, man. He don't want to go out like that. That was his first loss. You think he want to go out like that? No. So they got to make the trilogy. 2 great fights. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I don't know about anybody. Y'all. And then 20 years from now, same people talking about they don't want to be saying, oh, they should have had that trilogy. That's how boxing fans are. Same people be saying, oh, they should have had that trilogy. Too late, then they both retired. Beterbiev gave Bivol immediate rematch, give him an immediate rematch. Get it over with. Then the winner fight Benavidez. Don't just end it at 1-1. That would be crazy. Why? 2 great champions like that. Get that money, then the winner get the Benavidez money. Not only leaving the fight, not taking the fight, they leaving a lot of money on the table, not fighting that trilogy, man. Benavidez is mandatory, but I thought unification Trump mandatory, don't it? Give him some step aside money or something. I need to see this trilogy. But we'll see what happens. But Eddie Hearn said they in talks for the Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor trilogy. So Eddie would know. So that's good news. Chantal Cameron wanted that 3rd fight with Katie also. But Bivol, Beterbiev remains a Russian classic in need of translation and a 3rd act. Right? Let's talk about it. They need a 3rd act. Like I said, suppose Ali Frazier stopped at 1-1 and not had the greatest fight ever, the Thriller in Manila. Wouldn't that be something? Not ever having a Thriller in Manila? We might get a Thriller in Manila type fight between those 2 in their 3rd fight, in their trilogy. But have it. Then the tradition of most great Russian works of art, but specifically the novel. The rivalry between light heavyweights Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev has turned into a circuitous yet page-turning affair, with plenty of room for discussion and philosophical musing. Now there is, despite the evidence of 24 rounds, still no clear end in sight. With these 2, you got the 24 rounds. Still don't have no winner. I mean, Bivol got the belts, but it's 1-1. It's 1-1. No any indication as to which of them is the real hero of the piece. In Act 1, the hero appeared to be Beterbiev, of course, for he was the victor. Whereas now, by the end of Act 2, we see Bivol, right? He won the 2nd fight, okay? And reading the work produced by Bivol and Beterbiev these last few months has confounded as much as satisfied. Now, while its greatness is undeniable, there's also a sense of the work being impenetrable, at least to the mainstream, and ultimately lacking something. Now, some people would say it needs a trilogy like me, or a winner, and a bit of clarity. But in truth, it is more than that, right? And yeah, we need a trilogy for this fight because you just can't leave it at 1-1. So years from now, everybody will be talking about what if this had happened? What if that had happened? No, have the fight. And the winner will be the winner, right? Winner fight Benavidez. Have the trilogy around June. And the winner can fight Benavidez at the end of the year. That's the way I see it. I was trying to find something. That wasn't the right article there. I'm going to find it. But everybody ready for those two big cards we got coming up tomorrow? Yeah, I do too. I think he won both, Mike. But the judges didn't think so. So, you know, it's 1-1. You know? So they need to settle. I just think they need to settle that. Officially make it a somebody would end up with two. That's just what I think. But there's nobody saying I'm right, you know. Hey, Benavidez might beat either one of them. I don't think so. I don't think Benavidez can beat either one of them. That's after Bivol has stood in there 24 rounds with Beterbiev. I don't think Benavidez can do nothing with either one of them. Beterbiev going to knock him out. Bivol going to outpoint him. And I like Benavidez, but I just don't think he can compete with each one of those guys. But anyway, how would Bivol and Beterbiev compete with past light heavyweight champions, right? Like Kovalev or Roy Jones Jr. or Andre Ward. How would they make out against those guys? That's a good question. Very good question. Because, you know, Beterbiev got that punch and shoot. He could end any fight at any time against anybody. And Bivol is a master, you know. But let's look at Bivol versus Kovalev. Now, Kovalev was a tremendous puncher and actually a good technical technician, but he didn't punch harder than Beterbiev, right? And Bivol survived that fine, came through that with flying colors. That said, Crusher Kovalev at his peak between like 2013, 2015 would be a tough fight for anyone. And in the first Ward fight, he pushed Andre hard. But let's say Bivol by split decision, okay? Bivol versus Roy Jones Jr. Bivol versus Roy Jones Jr. Now, while Roy Jones was amazing at super middleweight, especially then his light heavyweight run came after his brief trip to heavyweight. And when he did come down, he was not great at light heavyweight. Bivol wins that one. Beats Roy Jones by decision. Bivol versus Andre Ward. How about that one? Now, that's a tough one. Andre was tricky and a very good boxer. But he was better at super middleweight. But this one had to go to Andre Ward over Bivol, right? So Bivol beats Kovalev. He beats Roy Jones, but he loses to Andre Ward. Okay. How about Beterbiev versus Kovalev? Now this would be a very good fight, right? Both in the prime versus prime. Both big punchers. Now, I think Beterbiev is technically tougher. And punching power was definitely better. But Beterbiev is a little bit busier. And he probably stops Kovalev. Beterbiev versus Roy Jones Jr. Same thing with Bivol. Roy was better at super middleweight. Beterbiev stops Roy at light heavyweight, just like Tarver did. Beterbiev versus Andre Ward. Ooh-wee. That's a good one, tricky. Now Beterbiev can be outboxed. Bivol showed that, which Ward could do. But remember Carl Froch caught up with Ward in the second half, so a draw. That one would be a draw. So Beterbiev beats Kovalev, beats Roy Jones, has a draw with Andre Ward. Yeah, it's a draw between those two. Now, how would Michael Spinks have done with Beterbiev? Michael Spinks versus Artur Beterbiev. Okay? Michael Spinks versus Artur Beterbiev. Thomas Hill said, I thought you could make a better case for Bivol in the first or so than in the second. Mike Wim says, Arthur's power might not be as we think because Bivol is not afraid of him. Just like Roach, that's right. Not afraid. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike Wim. That's a good point. It's Michael Spinks versus Artur Beterbiev. Now, Michael Spinks only lost one time in his career. That was to Mike Tyson, remember? Then he left boxing after that. Now, Spinks strived with opponents that was willing to fight him, tall, and somebody he could keep at the end of his shots, right? Cedar Holmes 1 and 2, but I think he lost both of those fights, and Jerry Cooney too. Now Tyson took away Spinks' strength, right, early in the fight. Now Beterbiev doesn't pose the same challenge for Spinks as Tyson did. Spinks would have loved Beterbiev because Beterbiev is 6 foot and Spinks is 6'2". Not a significant height difference. Tyson, in comparison, was 5'10". Trying to evade his shots with head movement put Spinks in harm's way. He ran into Mike's right uppercut, right? Trying to evade his shots. Beterbiev wouldn't try to get under Spinks' shots. And Spinks would love it because it makes Beterbiev accessible. Spinks would be busy and overwhelm Beterbiev with his punch output. Now, if Beterbiev were inclined, he would suffer a defeat by knockout. It would happen after round 5. The majority of Spinks knockouts occurred after round 5. Otherwise, it would be a unanimous decision for Spinks, right? If Bivol can outpoint him, I think Spinks would do it more dominantly than Bivol did. Yeah, Spinks over Beterbiev by decision. How about Canelo? You think Canelo could beat Beterbiev at light heavyweight? No, I don't think so. Canelo is not even going to fight him. No. Canelo knows Beterbiev is a beast, right? Could be go to cruiserweight, right? Very powerful, very accurate. Has a deep amateur background. And he can box, too. He can do everything. Now, Canelo is a complete boxer, but I don't think he could beat Beterbiev, though. No. Or Bivol. Well, he already lost to Bivol. So, I don't even think Canelo would fight Beterbiev, right? Too much risk. Now, unless you fight him in Vegas, like Mexican Independence Day weekend, then the judge is going to be in his favor. You know, Canelo start the fight out 4-0. Just like with Bivol, 115, 113. Come on, man. Everybody know that fight was like it was like 116 to 112, something like that. 8 rounds to 4 at least. Bivol won at least 8 rounds, maybe 9. They had it 7-5. One more round, it's a draw. That was ridiculous. That fight was not no 115 to 113. Everybody knows that. So when Bud fights him, Canelo got 4 rounds already, right? Mike says, not with those knees. Thomas Hill said, I think the rematch will clear up between the two in the Tank Roach fight. Can't wait to see it. Have they signed it yet? When is it? Are they having a rematch? I haven't heard about them signing a rematch or anything. Evander Holyfield beats Bivol or Beterbiev. If they went to Prime versus Prime against Usyk at cruiserweight, Usyk beats both of them too. Now, a good fight would be Bivol and Jai Apatari at cruiserweight. Bivol said he thought about moving to cruiserweight. That's an option. I don't think Beterbiev is moving up. I think Beterbiev, at his age, his next move going to be retirement. He's not thinking about no other division. Now, Bivol, he ain't no spring chicken either now. But he said cruiserweight is one of his options. You know he's talking about Apataya. Who's the other champion? Don't Zerdo have a belt up there? He already beat Zerdo, though. Yeah, he dominated Zerdo. Bivol did. Beterbiev would stop Zerdo. That's when Zerdo, after Bivol dominated him, that's when he left light heavyweight, went to cruiserweight. Oh my goodness. Damn. That's what I was looking for. Too late now. It's almost time to go. Oh, that's a good question. In the history of the light heavyweight division, which boxer can beat Prime Arthur Beterbiev? That's one for Monday. That's what I was looking for. Mm, mm, mm. Yes, that's for Monday. Oh, Ezra Charles would beat all of them. Beterbiev, Bivol, Roy Jones, Kovalev, Canelo, Benavidez, Morrell. None of them could touch Ezra Charles. Ezra Charles, the greatest light heavyweight ever, but never won the championship at light heavyweight. Never fought for it. He fought Archie Moore, but Archie wasn't champion then. As it moved to heavyweight, won the heavyweight title, but it's the greatest light heavyweight ever. None of them could touch him. None of them. No. Archie Moore, Ezra Charles, the greatest two. Michael Spinks, Bob Foster, Billy Conn. All time, before or Beterbiev, not even top 5. Bottom of the top 10, maybe. Maybe 11 and 12. They might be top 10, but definitely not top 5. You got Ezra Charles, Archie Moore, Bob Foster, Michael Spinks, Billy Conn. There's a few more in there that will come in front of them. I would put Roy Jones, not at light heavyweight. Andre Ward at light heavyweight in front of him. It'll say Bob Foster. Michael Spinks, Ezra Charles, Bob Foster, Archie Moore, Billy Conn, Harry Greb. He fought at light heavyweight. Yeah, Bivol and Beterbiev are probably at the back end of the top 10 all time. Light heavyweight. Yeah. Maybe 9 and 10. Or 8 and 9. Somewhere around in there. But no, they can't fool with none of those old school guys. From what I was talking about yesterday. Always fighting the best. Now, not every fight. Nobody fights. Everybody fights lower level fighters sometimes. Nobody fights the top. Not unless your name is Oscar. But nobody fights a top contender every fight. Except Oscar. But it's Friday. We will be back Monday with another Cast Sports. And I appreciate everybody that came through today. And all week, really. We lost two of the two great former fighters last weekend. We remembered them this week, Big George Foreman and the Pit Bull, Livingstone Bramble. We got another big week next week. The boxing in the States is Tennessee. That should be a good one. Better than yesterday. A little short one. Let me see if I can find out who the profile is next week. It's way over here. I'm coming. The book at, man. Can't find the book, man. Oh man, there it is. Okay, the profile next Friday is I don't know. Oh, Sugar Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane Mosley next Friday. Life and career of Sugar Shane Mosley next week. Okay, yeah, there we go. Just Do Boxing is coming up next, I think. Haven't seen him today. Let's see. Let you know in a minute. And we're going to get up out of here. We got the Rise podcast at 9 tonight and Angry White Men at 10. It's Friday. Then we got from the Sports Talk Network, BBO Boxing TV at 8 o'clock tonight. So look out for that. Great podcast with the gang. Crush the Legend, Prize Fighter, Thomas Hill, and D-Free. And of course, BBO. I don't see a thumbnail for Just Do Boxing today. So I don't think we have one today. Okay? Nope. Okay, so no, I don't see a thumbnail for Just Do for today. I'm not sure if we have one. I don't think we do. Okay? Nope. No Just Do Boxing. But Mike Rim, Ace, BN Boxing News, Crush the Legend, Kensaw Love One, Jarrell Hattie, Technique, Mike Rim, Mike Mazik, Thomas Hill, The Mighty Rise Podcast, and Miss Cass. Appreciate everybody coming through today. We'll be back Monday for another Cass Sports. Because if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Everybody have a great weekend. I will see y'all around those JBT streets.